Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are in a brand new room which you guys have never seen before. We are in the office. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of stuff in here. We've desks, we've 2 desks, we have 3 bookshelves, we have a lot of stuff. A huge amount of what we're going to be going through is paperwork, stationery, that kind of stuff, office supplies. Could be, you know, crossed over with school supplies. So today is going to be part 1 of the Most Extreme Declutter series ever with the office edition. So I really hope you guys enjoy seeing this new part of the house. You guys have never seen it before, and going through everything. We have a lot to get through in here. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to let go of. I've never decluttered in here before, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of shredding as well. An enormous amount of shredding. I will show you guys my shredder later on. I got a new one, and I'll fill you in more on that and update you as I'm showing you that later on. Anyway, if you are new to the channel, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you, and if you've been here before, welcome back. I really hope you guys enjoy it, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm going to start off this video by giving you like a little pan up and down of the office. Now, I don't know if you guys can notice, but the office is very narrow. It's literally the width of that bookcase you just saw on the door, and that's it. So I kind of had to mix up how I kind of film it. I couldn't really do a pan from left to right, because if I did, I missed the top or the bottom, because as you can see, the width of the wall there, where I'm standing in front of, that's the width of the room. It's very narrow. I know I've mentioned that, but if I haven't mentioned it before, I do mention it later in the video, but I just wanted to say that now. It's a very small room. But anyway, as you can see here, we have a lot of old stuff, all the old discs for the games on the shelf there. We have all stationery, there's a radio, there's office supplies, like office kind of school supplies, if you want to call them that. In case anyone's wondering what I'm doing, this is a roll of brown paper that I found, and there was a load of cobwebs stuck to the bottom of it, and they were like sticking, so I said, you know what, if we're getting rid of it, so I may as well use it to pick up everything else as I'm here. Now, the majority of stuff here you're going to see is not mine. I'm going to be honest about that. All these games are my brother's. Most of them are very old. Some of them even have Windows 95 and Windows 98 written on them, so that'll tell you how long back they go. Now, that's more the small disc crystal cases you'll see there, kind of the middle of the lower shelf. But these ones, even here, one of them I think was 2004 and stuff like that. Like he doesn't play them anymore. I think he wanted to keep 3 or 4 of them. You'll see me putting them to the side there. That's mine, the SimCity 3000. That's gone. I think I had kept it at one stage, but I did get rid of it because I don't need it. But I just kind of wanted to approach the subject of like decluttering office supplies and school supplies, because I feel like it's very different to other stuff. Now, maybe I'm the only one with this opinion. I don't know. I feel like it's probably a pretty common opinion that it can be quite challenging to declutter them with, number one, you don't want to waste stuff. You don't want to waste functional items. You don't want to throw away stuff that works and then have to replace it. Sorry, I'm going through all the old CDs here. Most of them, pretty much everything there got thrown out, recycled, but you know what I mean. I want to clarify, if I say thrown away or thrown out, what I'm referring to is I will recycle everything in the best way I can. That disc actually had on it 2001, so that's when that is from. But yeah, so it's like there's so many items here that were functional items, and because this is like a separate room in the house, and it's not a room that I would go into a huge amount. Like, I do go into it, obviously, but my dad does like work and stuff in it, and home, like household things and whatever. Like, you know, like insurances. That booklet there is from the Gateway 2000, which we bought, I remember, on the 2nd or 3rd of January in the year 2000, because we didn't get a computer before the Millennium Bug. So that's how long that booklet has been in our house. That was 24 years ago. We're going to move on from that now. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm trying to explain what you're seeing as well as keeping going with what I'm trying to explain. This video might be a little bit chaotic, I apologise. But anyway, I'm going to try and stay on topic as best I can. So, there is so much stuff in this office. This office has not been cleared out in years. And I mean years and years and years. The thing was, it's an area where my dad is. It's his office. It's where he works. It's mostly his stuff. My brother's stuff, obviously, like games and stuff like that are there, but the majority of stuff is my dad's. And when I say my dad's as well, I mean all the household stuff, like, you know, stuff you'd file, insurances and bank thingies and certificates, that kind of jazz. And as I said before, my dad had his own business before. So we have like a lot of this old stuff. Like this here is the roll from the, when you get the 2 sheets, it's like carbon paper basically. For doing your tax, it's beautiful dust. And if you can see that lovely film, that's everywhere not everywhere, but it's in a lot of areas in the office. Because to be honest, my dad is generally a very clean person. He's quite as you can see, like there's a lot of stuff in here, but like it is organized. It's quite tidy. That radio, I'm quite sure, is older than I am. It does kind of still work. I don't know what my dad's going to do. I said we should recycle it because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say 5 radios in the house. 6. We've 6 radios in the house, which to me is a little excessive, but whatever, including that one. But yeah, and I'm going to circle on back to my point. My dad is quite organized. Everything has a place, like it's tidy. Do you know what I mean? He is quite good for keeping it tidy. The problem is he doesn't throw stuff out in a lot of instances because I think, well, number one, they're not in his way. You know what I mean? They're not bothering him because they're not in his way. They're not, they don't look increasingly untidy or anything like that, which is like fine, and I understand that. But it's at the point now where it's like we are starting to kind of run out of space in the office, and if he was to get something new, we would be very limited in the spaces where it would go. So a couple of months ago, I started going through my own personal file, and I started to find bank statements from back like years ago, because I've never really gone through it. I also discovered at that time that I have 2 files. So I have one in my room and then I have one down there, and it was a whole thing. But I went through it, and like 80% of the paperwork I had was out of date, no longer relevant, don't need it anymore. So as previously mentioned, we had a load of shredding to do, so I kind of thought maybe we should go and see if there's any more shredding. And I then went and invested in a new Rexel X50 shredder. I can't remember the name, but what I will do is I got the shredder from Amazon. So what I will actually do is I will link the shredder in the description box below. Now, you're actually not going to see it in this video. I had initially planned to have it in this video, but this took so much longer than I thought it was going to take. It's like, it'll probably take like an hour to do this. An hour and a half. It took probably nearly close to 2.5, 3 hours. But it's more because, well, number one, we had to stop and start like several times. And also there's just so many items in this office, like little small finicky items that had to be gone through. Now you can obviously see me talking off camera there. My dad's just sitting off camera there because, as I said, it's his office. He has to make the final decision, and he was quite he wanted to be involved in this and make decisions, just in case I accidentally got rid of something that was important that I might have said, oh, that's not needed, but it was, or something I didn't know what it was. So you'll see me a couple of times throughout. I think I showed it already. Maybe I didn't, in like a white box. There's like a ribbon that's out of a typewriter. We still have the typewriter. We got a computer in the year 2000. I don't know how old the typewriter is. I can't remember if that was bought before or after it. But anyway, as we go through this, we have found so many things we had forgotten about. You are going to see cassettes or tapes. If you are probably millennial or older, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're younger than a millennial, there is a good chance you don't know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. They're the way we used to listen to music back in the day. As you can see here, I have blue tack on blue tack on blue tack. Anyway, sorry. Focusing up. I apologise, guys. I'm a bit scattered today. But the cassette tapes, there's a lot of them. The radio in the office is like a multi, the CD tape from back in the 2000s. That's in the office. And my dad wanted to keep all the tapes. And I even suggested, like, I will get you a Spotify. I will get you Apple Music, whichever you prefer. I personally have Apple Music, but I think he liked Spotify before. He got a trial or something. I'm not sure. And I said, then we can get rid of all the tape. Nope, he wants the tapes. He wants the tapes, so he has kept the tapes. And he also has kept all of his CDs, which are in the dining room, and we will deal with them another time. But like literally in this office, he has like tapes. There's games. He obviously won't go near the games. There's office supplies. There's old notes. There's Norton 2009. I'm not a fan of Norton, and thankfully it's not on the computer anymore. That's a very long story for another day. But going through this, we had so many CDs. I think we had 5 packets of Blue Tack. Like, I don't know why. Because the funny thing was, anytime I wanted Blue Tack, do you think I could find Blue Tack? No, not a chance. That's just me showing you the size of the packaging versus the actual Blue Tack inside, which is still a thing I see to this day. Small package, giant box. I will never understand why they do it. But there's so many items in this. That's a UV filter from a camera. It's not my camera, I think it's my brother's. Why is it in the office? No one knows. Literally no one knows. There's like, they were, I think I'll show you this in a minute. I'm not sure if I show you here now. This box was there you go. It's basically full of business cards. That's what's in it. Because I was wondering why there was like a little bear out there for some reason. This little thing is to repair holes for when you punch paper and you put them into a folder. If they rip, you can use that to repair the holes as they tear. It doesn't get used anymore. There's basically a lot of items in this office that are related to running a business, stationery, office supplies, that kind of thing. And well, like, which makes sense. It's an office. But there's just a lot of them, and a lot of the stuff hasn't been touched in years. That's a SIM card backup thingy from about 20 years ago that I don't think has ever been used. This is a foam cleaner, which unfortunately, I don't know if the camera will pick it up because the lighting was really weird. That expired in 2006. So we're going to see a lot of that in this office. Now, my mum was great at organising and tidying and keeping the place clean. And my mum was like a goddess of this stuff. Like, she was amazing at it. I literally don't know how she found the energy or kept the house the way she did. Because let me tell you, I am not keeping it to the standard she kept it to, let me tell you. But there's so much stuff in the office, and the only thing I can figure out is that she just didn't go into this office. I'd say she tried and then she gave up. Try to keep it organised or going through it. But the stuff in this office has been here for a long time. This whole section here is like the main desk. This is where my dad would work the most if he's not obviously on the computer. It has the phone and all that. Actually, I'm not even sure if there is a phone on the desk anymore. I think it might be off to the side on the computer desk. But like, my dad would sit here if he was making phone calls or whatever. It's a cordless phone. For my viewers who would remember, this where the shredder is used to be a big old fax machine. We were very fancy. We had a fax machine in the house. And you wouldn't believe the crack we had when we had a fax machine. We had dial-up and we had the landline phone, and somebody was trying to make a phone call. And then the fax machine went off, and then you'd be trying to use the internet, and then the fax would ring or the phone would ring, and that would cut off. And for anyone who was around for dial-up, that's a beautiful picture of me. I thought I'd share that with you, lads. I thought it was hilarious. But for anyone who was around for the struggle, that was a dial-up. Imagine adding a fax machine in the mix, because the fax machine worked very much like the phone. When you picked up the phone with dial-up, it cut off the internet. So we had all three. It was great fun. Anyway, to be honest, guys, I literally was like, am I going to find the fax machine in here? Am I literally going to find it in a drawer or the back of a cabinet? Like, literally, it's still early days. I might find it yet. Now, I'm pretty sure it was recycled about 10 years ago, but still. Now, here we are going through the cassette tapes. There's loads of them. I thought he'd get rid of most of them. He didn't. I was wrong. We shall move on. But there's loads of tapes and just some of the stuff he wasn't sure about or what was on it. Also, he had a load of tapes that were, you know, when the way he used to record onto the blank tapes, and there was literally like nothing written on the boxes, and he knew what they were. I was like literally, how do you know this? There's also on one or two of the tapes when we used to go away on holidays, we'd bring the radio with us, and my dad would like talk to us and record it, which is really funny. So they're probably still on. There's one recording from when I was 3 I heard a while ago. Hilarious. We were talking absolute nonsense. But anyway, sorry guys, very chaotic. There's just so much going on in front of me, and I want to tell you guys and explain everything I'm doing, explain why I'm doing it, but it's just going quite fast, and there's just so much of it. So basically, that clock is gone. 80% of what you're going to see me going through in this video is gone. Like, it's been decluttered, removed, taken away, shifted, because it's just not used, or it's pointless, or doesn't have a purpose, or whatever. And the thing with the way this office is when we were younger, this was where the computer was. So unfortunately, the office ended up getting a lot of stuff put into it because like there was games in it. Like my brother's games used to be in it. Obviously I have my own games in my room now, and my brother doesn't live here, so but all the games ended up being in it. And then there would be like, as I was mentioned, I think in a previous video, a lot of the stationery that I was letting go of, my dad's like, oh, I'll use that. And that's ended up in the office. And like fairness to him, some of it has gotten used, but there's also a lot of it that hasn't gotten used. So I kind of went through that as well and was like, I gave this to you 6 months ago, or a year ago, or a year and a half ago. There's all the tapes, as previously mentioned, the tapes. He loves the tapes. But the stuff was never used and was never gotten rid of or anything. So probably a lot of that will be dealt with in this kind of section. Right here, as you can see, is a windowsill. That windowsill should be bright white. And in case you're not sure, you see it against the neck curtain there, how dirty it is. This is everything I'm getting rid of from the desk. There's Max on the chair. And the shelves there, bye-bye. See you later. That's just from the shelves there. And from the windowsill. Which to me is quite frankly obscene, because I literally don't know how it all fit. As you can see, I haven't touched the desk yet. That was just on those 2 shelves and the windowsill. And trust me guys, there was literally 5 tubs in the windowsill. And this is a perfect example of like, how did we fit it all in? I literally do not understand where it all went. I've already gone through these. These are not mine. This is my brother's stuff. I've already spoken about it. And obviously his personal information, so I did this one particular off camera because he doesn't really want to be involved in any of this. So that's what this pile is. This is all going to be shredded. So one of the huge reasons I decided to do this particular series was because honestly, as I mentioned, I was going through my own file. And part of the reason was back when I was doing my bedroom, I found my file in my room, or one of my files in my room. And the stuff that was in it is from like 10 or 15 years ago, which made me obviously think about the other file I have. And I went through that and then found so much old stuff in that as well. And also like, some of the stuff I thought I'd lost was in one, or stuff I couldn't find previously when I needed it was in the other. So I kind of wanted to avoid that happening again. But what I did notice was when I was in the office, and we haven't seen it yet or covered it yet, but just where I'm sitting there, just directly facing opposite me, there's a little drawer unit there. And it has just old reports that my dad had, and old like paperwork and, stuff like that. And it said on the drawer 99 to 2000. And I was like, funny. He must have forgotten to change the label on that. No, he didn't. He did not. The stuff in that drawer, because I've looked, is from 99 to 2000. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about keeping records and GDPR and data protection and all that jazz, but according to the GDPR regulations in Europe anyway, and according to the revenue here, like our tax crowd, and the data protection people here, you're required to keep records for the past 6 years. Now, it used to be 7, but when I was on the revenues record the other day, it was 6. Now, I did part of the office. I did some of the drawers and some of the files and stuff like that, I think a year or 2 ago. So we got rid of, or maybe it wasn't even, maybe it was a few months ago. I can't remember exactly, but it was definitely a while back. And one thing I discovered was we had a lot of really old stuff. But even since then, another year probably has elapsed. So I'd say there's a lot more stuff. There you go. That red folder I just showed you there is my other file, by the way. And the most of the stuff in is bank accounts that no longer exist. So there's no point in me keeping the paperwork. But what I realised was the stuff, number one, there's been a bit of year lapse, so a lot of that stuff can go. But what I noticed going through the files was we had really old stuff. Now obviously there's certificates and stuff like that have to be kept. Like what I'm talking about when I refer to that is like, birth certs and insurance certificates and, policy information, and I'm trying to think what other stuff, passports, and like obviously all your qualification certs, degrees, certificates, diplomas and all that jazz. So obviously that stuff's going to be older and you're going to hold on to that. But beyond that, there's like a lot of stuff I came across just quickly perusing through the files and stuff. Like number one, for just in case anyone was wondering, yes, I did ask my dad before I did any of this. And like I used to do some admin work for him as well. So like I know a lot of the stuff that's in the office already. But I just found an enormous amount of stuff, and it's literally just like, you know, and I don't even think, like, it's not a case that my dad just didn't bother, like, because, like, he's not, I gotta be honest with him, he's like not a lazy person at all. But I literally think it's just that, like, he'd fill a folder, and then, like, the folder would go over there, or there would be room in the folder. So, you know what I mean? There was no reason for him to get rid of it and go through it again and that kind of thing. And it is like, it's a massive time investment going through paperwork. Any of you who have done that know what I'm talking about, especially when you go through the level of paperwork that we went through. Like the drawer unit there, you'll see at the very bottom of the frame at the moment, the little 8 drawer unit. Like the stuff in that, number one, my dad didn't even know what was in it. He doesn't really use it anymore. And the stuff in it was really old. So it was just kind of like, you know, it's taking up a lot of your desk and, you know, a lot of stuff you don't need. And I honestly think we could fit everything into the 2 drawers. So, you know, which honestly, when I started, my dad's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we will be able to fit it in. But when we actually went through, we discovered a lot of the stuff we didn't need anymore. Now, I don't know if you'll notice it in this part of the video, but you may notice it throughout. And I just want to make a note of it now in case I forget later. But you will see some holes in the wall, like they're only tiny ones, little lumps of plaster missing. We had a load of pictures and there was calendars and stuff up on the wall behind where I'm sitting there. And we took them down before I started filming because obviously there was photos and stuff. Family members in them, and, you know, obviously they didn't agree to be in the video. And there was also a couple of posters and just old stuff that we just don't even need anymore. So we took all that down. So that will probably get repaired soon as well. Just in case. I don't even know if it's in this video, but just in case you notice that will be dealt with later on. So the thing about it, well, the one thing I can say about my dad is he is not short on office supplies, like at all. Probably won't be for another 5 years. But I kind of went through, there's some St. Patrick's Day cards I found that he doesn't even remember getting them. But anyway, so, you know, it's little things like this. You don't find the stuff till you go through it. But the little blue container there, you'll see it's directly beside what I'm going to call like the shelf unit. It has like, you can see the pink highlighter in the front. That's like his everyday use. And the little kind of beige cup on the left, they're like his everyday pens and pencils he uses. And, you know, scissors and Tipp-Ex and stuff. Tipp-Ex, I believe, if you're in North America, is called whiteout. I think. I could be wrong. But that's what that is. It's like the correction. Like if you make a mistake on the page, you like kind of paint that on and it dries and you can write over it. I think it's called whiteout in North America. We call it Tipp-Ex. Don't know why. Well, it's the brand name, but that's just what it's called here. But anyway, I went through all them. Pens, markers, etc. So on and so forth. And honestly, guys, nearly everything was dried out or gone. Because I think he literally picks the same 3 pens all the time. So it was really good to go through that. Now, I did manage to fit everything from that into the little unit with that's me at one of my graduations. Where the container with the pink highlighter in it. I managed to get it on there, but the scissors were kind of falling over and my dad didn't really like it. And that is a temporary solution. You're going to see that at the end everything is in that. That's just a temporary solution while we wash the kind of beige container because that was really dirty. And it's just much easier to clean that blue container. It was plastic, so we just wiped it out and then just, you know, put all the Potchcar pens and pencils that are in use there. So you'll see like lots of little, like there's the little pink and red kind of hatch pattern. That's little square pages. Paper, we've another little container of that on top of it with the multicolored paper. Then there's the little Hedwig tub, which is paper. A lot of this was just consolidating information. It was literally me going through, putting stuff together that goes together. A lot of the stuff we're going to go through is all business records. As I've told you, my dad isn't self-employed anymore. He's retired now, so we have a lot of business records that he doesn't need them anymore. So now some of them he will obviously have to keep because of GDPR and data protection and all that kind of jazz, because you are required to keep a couple of years of stuff. But a lot of the stuff we don't need anymore, and as I've said, a lot of the documentation hasn't been cleared out. So I have gotten the crisscross mix multi-shredder, whatever you call it. As I said, I'll link it in the description below. It's a Rexel 50X, and basically what it does, it shreds 50 sheets at a time, well, automatically. You feed them in, it does it for you. But it has the crisscross and it has the proper security level for GDPR regulations. So, because there's a lot of business documentation, I wanted to make sure that was all, you know, above board and everything. And then just going through these like A4 pads. And again, it's the same. It's just a lot of business stuff that we just need to go through in old records. And they're from they're across, multiple years. Honestly, they're from across multiple decades, I'm going to be honest with you. But there's a lot of stuff to go through. And to be honest, I wouldn't ask my dad to do it. Shred pile. It's quite heavy. That does near, guys. And I have a absolute whopper of a pile on the floor for recycling. There we go. That is many, many layers deep. This is all going out recycling. It just doesn't need to be shredded. And I'm delighted to say goodbye to this horrible piece of crap. Now, in case anyone's wondering why I wouldn't ask my dad to do it, well, number one, because to be frankly honest, he doesn't care about most of the stuff that's in the office. Like, it doesn't bother him that it's there, but it's something that I don't want to one day be left to deal with. And as I've mentioned to you guys previously, I've got the Swedish death cleaning book and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to be really morbid around that. I really amn't. But I'm just trying to get the house into a better shape and all this kind of stuff done now while there's like lots of time to do it. And, I actually enjoy doing this. I enjoy decluttering. My dad does not enjoy decluttering. It is not a thing he likes doing. He will do it, when it needs to be done, and he will tolerate me. But it's like something I would like to do with him. Because obviously, as they say, many hands make light work and all that jazz. But it's like when I can sit down and do it with him, it's a lot easier because it's his stuff and he knows where a lot of it is and he kind of knows what we're dealing with for the most part. But it also means that, someday in the future, which is hopefully very, very, very far in the future, I'm not left to deal with all this and have this massive, have to go through an awful experience and then have to deal with all this then after that. I'd really no thank you, I'm fine. But it's literally it's just, there's so much stuff in here, there really, really is. And to be honest, as I'm on my decluttering journey and I'm doing obviously this channel, which I really enjoy doing. And I thought it was something that, number one, I'd never shared with you guys, but a topic I'd kind of touched on, but not really. I know I've done a couple of office supplies, stuff in my room before, but this is an actual proper office. And I think a huge thing that people have in their houses, you don't even have to be self-employed to have this. Anyone who has a house, anyone who pays bills, anyone who has bank accounts has paper. If you have children, you have an exorbitant amount, a literally exorbitant amount of paper, I'm sure, as well. Unless obviously you are organised and keep on top of it. I can only imagine when all the kids' artwork and permission slips and school things and uniforms and all that kind of jazz. If obviously you need uniforms for the kids. But there's just there's so much stuff out here, and it's I thought it was something we can both do. We can go through everything. The company has been closed down now for a couple of years, so I thought it was a kind of good time to do it, and also to make the space functional, because my dad is getting older. Do you know what I mean? He is, as much as we don't like to think about these things, and I want to make it so that he can always have the best access to this house that's possible. And I don't want it to be a thing where something happens and then it's we're forced to do some really quick kind of subpar job, if you want to call it, at the last minute in order for him to be able to use and access everything. I want to do it now before it's a problem. Not that it will ever be, but you know what I mean. Preemptively, let's just get organised. But also I thought this was a series that maybe you guys would enjoy, seeing a totally different part of the house. You guys, I don't believe I've ever seen this room before. And there really is so much decluttering to be done in it. And I just thought you guys would enjoy a new room and some new kind of content and something a bit different. But even just this section that we're doing here, this desk and the shelves above. So I will tell you guys that now. This video basically covers the desk, the shelves above and the windows. I'm that's it. But the amount of decluttering, the amount of stuff that we got rid of, because after I took out all these games, there's a company here that takes secondhand games, and I put a lot of the game names into their search. They have a website, whatever, you can search the games, and almost all of them they wouldn't take, or they were worth 1 cent. And their nearest branch is 20 minutes away from us. This is what was in the bottom of the tub. Literally black dust. I think it's dried ink. but I don't know what it is. And there's little Mr. Baby on the floor, and my dad there beside me. There he is, as you can see, working very hard, as he does always. But like little things like that going through that, you know, organising there, finding all that black dust, was like, really glad I did that now. It's just been sitting in this office. And as I showed you the windowsill, the office is incredibly dusty. It hasn't been cleaned in a very long time, so that needs to be done as well. I also don't want my dad sitting in that environment. So I've actually moved to my phone because my camera battery just died, which is annoying. Anyway, this big mound here is all to be shredded. Now, we'll obviously go through with like a bundle and see if everything has like personal information on it. This is what we've kept out of the stuff that was on that big unit with like the 8 to 10 different pieces. We've kind of like a few little bits here. You see them like pens and stuff. They'll all go back into this. This came out of the pen thing. This one is also quite grubby. So what I want to do is just give these a wipe out with an antibacterial. I don't know if the camera will even pick that up. Yeah, I hope the light was okay as well on the other stuff, because there's literally this one small window in the office. That's the only light we have. I'm going to clean all this up now. I will show you guys a clip at the end, because it's quite hard to film what I'm trying to do and hold the camera and continue doing it, because also a lot of the stuff with like personal information I'm trying to cover and that kind of thing. So I'll just roughly fill you guys. Okay, so first of all, oh, I'm rolling on something. This is, oh, sorry guys. It's going all the way underneath me and around me. There's more here. This is all recycling. I've showed you this already. This folder thing is empty. It's all ripped as well. It's a paper one. It's very, very old. There's paperwork in there I need to go through. This is all to be shredded. I need to go through this box. These drawers. This is all going to be coming up soon. This is what we're getting rid of. Everything on this desk is going. Sorry, I just don't know if there's any personal information on that paper that you can see. As I mentioned earlier, it's not my stuff, but you can see here this table is covered. That's the keyboard. There's loads of stuff on top of it. This is all being recycled and disposed of in the best possible way. Another thing I'm going to be doing is shredding all of this. There's 2 boxes there of stuff. There is an enormous amount of paperwork. I will insert the clips of the shredding and probably a little short review of my new, I got a Rexel 50X, something or another, I can't remember the name of it. I'll post it on screen of me shredding, and I will just kind of talk through my process, that kind of thing. There may be clips of it in this video, there may be some in the next, over the next couple of episodes, you will be seeing me sitting there doing a lot of shredding. But I will also, like, you know, I will talk about stuff as well. I'm really happy with this shelf. Like, we literally reduced that down by, you know, I'd say 80%. Now you can see stuff is spaced out here. Everything was like rammed into it before. But what you call it, once I get it tidied up a little bit, it'll look, oh yeah, like for example, all this here, these here were all on the windowsill. This was all added from the windowsill. This was on the desk, this was on the desk. The sellotape, these few bits were on the shelves. Just here. I don't know if my hand's showing that properly. Just that, and I've really like spaced them out, and you can see all that stuff fell over. But anyway, oh yeah, and some of the stuff up there, all the discs and all that stuff, they were on the windowsill as well. I've kind of collated it, should I say, all to here together to keep it together. That's my beautiful mother. But yeah, so I kind of just wanted to fill you guys in on the during process. I am standing on so many things. There's stuff going underneath the chair here. You can see the wheels on some of it there. But yeah, I don't want to waffle on for too long. Even though I know a lot of you love a bit of waffle. As you can see on this, like I have post-it notes on some stuff. You'll notice on the folders, I filled it in, covered it in permanent marker for any kind of personal information. This tracksuit was clean when I started. So you can kind of see, oh, this is my new tracksuit, by the way. Let me know, think down below. This office is incredibly dusty. You guys saw the windowsill earlier. I'll quickly show, no, I can't show you again because there's photos on it. Never mind. Let me see if I can just pop over here. Ooh. See the dirt and the shelves up here, guys. I can't really reach that. I'm sitting down at the moment, guys. They're not much better. A huge amount of paperwork that we're gonna actually go through stuff is going to be here, 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 and around this general vicinity. Today I wanted to get this whole section done. The desk, the top of the desk done and all this, because I knew it was going to be super finicky. I knew it was going to be loads of like small little pieces, which there has been. I'm not exactly sure how long the video is so far. I have to check that in the edit. I'll probably pop it up on the screen. But this has been, like, I think I'm probably at this now for over 2 hours. Let me check. Yeah, maybe 2.5 hours we're at this now. It was just really finicky. Okay guys, so I actually decided before I went in that I would just finish off a little bit and tidy up the desk here. So recycling is still on the floor. I will deal with that, don't worry, I promise. Everything here will be recycled, dealt with. With some electrical recycling, with stuff like that. The radio, before anybody asks me, the radio will be staying here. I've been told not to even ask, so that's what I'm going to do. This is the old shredder. I won't be using this one. I don't know if we're keeping this one or not, but hopefully I'll have the big shredder, the one I just got. It's a Rexel. As I mentioned, I'll have that one out here in the next few days. I may in fact bring all the paper into the shredder. It depends. The shredder is quite heavy, but we will see. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Obviously it needs to be cleaned. I didn't want to just knock all this on the floor. There's a lot of dust around here. I don't even know what this, I'm assuming what this is it's just ink that has dried out. But yeah, then because it seems to be here, it's also on this shelf, and it seems to be everywhere there was pens, so I'm assuming it's ink. You can see everything up here. This could all be squashed in more. I'm not trying to squash stuff in. It's just to get it up there for the moment out of the way. I'm really happy with how this desk is laid out, and it's much clearer, much cleaner. There's a lot more room to work and to use the desk, and it feels so much more open and airy in here. Yeah, in case anyone was wondering how dirty the office is. There's my hands. Now, I'm assuming I probably got a lot of this with all the ink off all the paper. But yeah, this place hasn't been cleaned in quite a while. So yeah, it's pretty dirty. Anyway, this is how we're looking. I'm really happy that we got this much done. I would have filmed more, but as I've mentioned, the camera has died. We've done a lot of this. I knew this was all going to be really finicky and take a while, and it has done. We've also, let me just flip this here over, guys. We've also cleared this window, so that now I know there's stuff on top. This is all being thrown out. I'm keeping the tray. Everything else in here is gone. My dad doesn't want any of it. This, you would have seen the stuff in my room. This actually got buried in the unit that was here. I didn't even know. I didn't know where it was. I thought it was accidentally recycled. These here have to be gone through as well. That's a later time. They were here. Just I need to move them to put my camera in place. But yeah, we've done the windowsill. We've done the top of the desk. We've done all this. Really happy with that today for the first day's progress and what we've achieved so far. So I will check back in with you guys in a second to wrap this up. Okay guys, so that is going to be the end of today's video. I have just realised I have got this on my face. So that's super awesome. Loving that for myself. Anyway, I'm not going to chat on for too long. That was very, I'm going to say brain labour intensive. Huge amount of decision making. If you saw me swinging off to one side at the time, that's because, as I previously mentioned to you guys, this is my dad's office. So I had to like say to him, is this okay? Can I get rid of this? Can I get rid of that? Da, da, da. You know, so he's done actually a lot today with me as well. Of course, we had wonderful Mr. Supervisor who's, say hello. Hi, Beanie. He's right there. He's just monitoring, making sure everything is being done to his very high standards. But yeah, we're not going to have too much of a waffle today. A little bit. It's always a little bit. It's always a little bit. But yeah, so we got a huge amount done. I'm going to have a load of shredding to do. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm probably not going to do it all on camera because I think it would be incredibly boring for you guys to sit there and watch me shredding thousands of pages. But I'll probably put like a little bit in each. If you guys want to see more of that, let me know. Maybe you really enjoy that. I don't know. Let me know down below. Anyway, we've done a lot today. Took a couple of hours. We spent a couple of hours on it. And I think we've made a really good dent because I think a lot of what we're doing next is going to be like going through those folders. And like we have an entire shelf on the bookcase that's old diaries, so they're going to be gone straight away. Like a lot of stuff we've kind of made the decisions on, whereas today was all the kind of those shelving units and stuff that none of the decisions had been made on them. So it was kind of, you know, oh God, I'm gonna all to one side. Hold on, I'll zoom in a bit. That's better. That's probably a bit better. This way. I don't know what I'm there. There we go. But yeah, so a lot of it today was doing that, going through all that kind of stuff, and kind of making a lot of decisions along the way. So like all that those little 8 or whatever, like little shelves, there was such a variety in there of different kind of paperworks, and I think I'm way too close. I'm gonna go back out, guys. I'm just gonna go back out. We're on a wide angle lens on the phone. Don't worry about it, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Yeah, we still have a lot of the office to go through, but today is finicky. It's all the little stationery bits and the little kind of, or office supplies, if you will. Sorry, the dragging in the back is the dog pulling his bowl around the kitchen, which means he's hungry. Hi, you gonna say hello? You gonna say hello? Hi, yeah. That's him now staring at me, just be like, hello, I'm hungry. My dad's also down there, so I'm sure he'll take care of that. But anyway, I am tired. Mentally, I am tired right now. I'm really looking forward to doing the rest of this series. I think we're going to probably be 3 to 4 parts. We could be a little bit more, I don't know. I'm going to need to clean it. My face. Because it's dirty, it's quite dirty. It's not even dirty, it's dust and, you know, bleh, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, not a big deal to clean it. Couple of wipes, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, the office is just going there. My dad's like still using that office. Oh, I also wanted to quickly comment on last week, my live video. I don't know what happened. There was some issue with the notifications. I myself got the notification for my live on my phone at 2:05 the following morning. Like, I didn't see it until Saturday. Like at 8 a.m. I was like, oh, notification while you were asleep. It was like 2:05 you've alive. I don't know what happened. It was some kind of glitch. It was some kind of error. I don't know if I did something wrong or if the system was down. I think there was a couple of issues with YouTube Studio. I went into my own YouTube Studio and I couldn't access like 4 different menus. I kept getting errors and stuff. I couldn't view anything. It was a whole thing. So I think there might have been a little bit of an issue. I'm not going to blame YouTube because honestly I don't know. But if I did something wrong, I don't think I did. But I just wanted to say I'm sorry about that for you guys who did miss the live last week. Because apparently no one could see it and no one knew it was happening. So anyway, I went on anyway and filled you guys in on the updates I wanted to fill in, and you know, so you guys would still get those updates because I didn't want to skip a video. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened there. I've no idea what happened. I'm going to be really careful in the future, make sure it never happens again, and actually bring up, you know, like a second browser to make sure I can actually see it and hear it as well on YouTube. Anyway, I think that's everything for today. We're going to be back next week with the next part of this office series. I hope you guys enjoy it so far. And I hope you're looking forward to seeing more. Just to be aware, the office is a very small space. It's more that it's really narrow. So it's like, it's limited where I can put the camera. There's one window, so there's one light source. So if there's any like the lighting and stuff like that, I apologize. I need to get lights. It's a future, you know, something I want to invest in. It's not my budget right now, but hopefully as we keep going on YouTube, I'll be able to save up my YouTube money and get those lights. Because I want to be able to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing in videos, or they're kind of pointless. And get the lighting better, because I just think everything looks a bit better. Also, I did get my new microphone that I've just remembered right now after I filmed everything. So I'm going to go ahead and call that one on me. I got the, not new microphone, the new attachment. That was my fault. I've just realised that now. Hopefully I'll remember that for next week. So you feel free someone to drop me a note down below saying don't forget your microphone next week. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. We've done a lot of work today. It took several hours. I'm sorry this camera is shaky. I do not have a very steady hand, which is why I use my tripod a lot. And what happens is I turn my head, I start drifting with it. So sorry about that. Anyway, that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you want to join the community, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when my videos go live. And I promise I'll make sure they do in the future. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's the dog. He is like, give me food now. Mixie, baby. That was him demanding food. Literally demanding food. You are so cheeky. Excuse me. Are you being a cheeky bum? Are you being a cheeky bum? Are you being demanding? Yes, you are. Anyway, guys, that's the end of today's video. I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful rest of your day, a fantastic weekend, and a wonderful week ahead. And I will talk to y'all soon. Okay, love y'all. Bye.